Don't have this black culture because the first thing we say, let's join without helping our own self first to get our stuff right. Okay, now I'm changing the subject. Okay, so the subject is changed. Just go out there, shake your ass, and show yourself and scream and holler. Don't, but that's what Marcus said.
I said shake your ass.
He said just go out there and get it.
And talk to me. We keep it real, we play the field, we get that. What you boys wanna know about me?
Hey, this is California Urban Podcast on YouTube. We're here with Anita Lofton, the health advocate. Got some news and some serious news that y'all need to be aware of for health situations and, insurance, all kinds of things that's coming our way in the next 2 years, between 27 and 28. Marcus is here to give an update with real estate and things, but not a big real estate. Nothing that's too much changed so far. So he just give a slight update on maybe some of the things that we can look forward and stuff. And we'll talk about the governor's race, and we're also going to talk about something that's very important for you parents. All of y'all kids are graduating, and I've been going around talking, and we actually went up to a college today, how the kids are not doing the work. Getting into college because they don't know how to do the work. So we got some things where parents need to get off their rump and go with their kid and make sure they get the financial aid, make sure they get the stuff to maybe if they're going to stay on a dorm or if they're going to stay in the area and rent a room and get some, some Pell Grant money and all that stuff. So they maybe need to go up and check and stuff like that. But so we getting ready to start. And we're going to get an update on real estate, and then we're going to talk about the governor's race, and then we're going to get into Anita, and we're going to talk about some of the health aspects. Today is man first.
How you love that, Anita? Men first, huh?
That's okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to jump in real quick, man, because like Roy was saying, there's some serious politics going on, but without further ado, I told you guys I was going to bring you some statistics, and so I have them right here on my phone, and I want to share with you some of these actual stats when it comes to real estate, and we're talking about agents who have left the business over the course of the last year. So Here we are. A recent Wall Street Journal report says that agents are quitting or taking second jobs as the slow housing market stretches into its fourth year of the reduced numbers. The National Association of Real Estate membership at about 1.4 million as of April 2026, so a couple of months ago, is down from its peak of 1.6 million in October of 2022. Wow. So millions of agents are exiting the business, and if they're not exiting the business, they're actually getting second jobs. So as I was saying the last couple of weeks, if you're asking me about getting into the business of real estate, I would tell you to pump your brakes when it comes to the agent side of things and look maybe towards the investment side, or not even the lending side, because lenders and brokers of mortgages are having issues as well. So really the only hope at this point is the investment side and starting businesses within the land that you actually purchase. So that's it for real estate. The real estate market is steady. Again, the numbers don't change week over week. So the real estate market is steady, but overall the numbers are low and there are fewer transactions per city and per state.
Wow, that's okay. That's it. Wow. So let me ask you, even when real estate agents are leaving or looking for jobs, it's very difficult because they're laying a lot of people off of work. And even with their skills, they're probably having a hard time. They're probably taking jobs they never thought they would take, like security, working, a little part-time school job or childcare.
Yeah, like
because
bus
it's
driving,
kind of
like bus driving. I drove a bus, and I never thought I would have a Class B or Class A license, But that's
Right.
kind of what it came down to when the market actually
Yeah.
slowed down, like really,
Yeah.
really drastically slowed down for me and some of the agents in my brokerage.
I looked up when you told me that. I looked up the best real estate agents right now at the maximum will sell 3 houses in a year.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, and that's just not
Mhm.
enough to cut it, man. That's not enough
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
actually survive off, especially as a single man or a single woman,
Yeah.
in California. That's not going to
Right.
work unless
Right.
you're doing, $2 million listings at a time.
Yeah. And also the loan industry, I heard, is changing too. How the banks is doing the loans, and that's slightly starting to change a little bit because they're using technology. And so how do you feel about what you're about to face as a broker?
Yeah, well, what I face as a broker is I face the conglomerates and the corporations reaching out to the same clientele that I reach out to, and
Okay.
they're obviously, if you're a bigger entity, you have more resources when it comes to funding, right? So
Okay.
that's what I face. I face the corporations reaching out to my current clients and my prospective clients on a daily basis with, quite frankly, better products.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So it's kind of like you got to really get people to work with you even much harder now. And you have
Yeah,
to get,
people gotta love you. They gotta really, really trust you, and
Mhm.
that's a very odd space to be in when a real any investment transaction is not about the relationship and the tie to the other person, to the broker, right? It's really
Right.
about putting yourself as the investor in the best scenario. So
Right.
people don't go with me just because my good looks. People go with me because in that moment I've communicated more efficiently. They trust the information that I'm giving, and above all, at that moment, I have the best scenario and best deal for them, as they should too. I don't
Right.
expect anybody to work with me if it means you're going to end up paying more money in the long run or missing out on something that you could have benefited from currently and in the long run. It shouldn't, the
Right.
game, it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, I noticed that I'm getting a deluge of phone calls in regards to funding or buying a house. Do I want to buy? Do I want to sell? I know the whole thing is like we got someone who's looking to buy your property. That's only to get me on the phone to talk
Mm-hmm.
about, if I'm doing more, da da da. And it's just crazy how they're actually reaching out to you now. It's more like a
Yeah.
concierge service.
Well,
Now, who
well,
am I
no.
talking
What it is now, it's AI calling.
to?
So just a few years ago, I had a dialer called Vulcan 7, and it's a dialer. You log into the program, and the program spits out a bunch of leads, and it automatically dials for you, but you do the talking. As of now, your AI makes all of the calls for you. So you have all of these AI agents making thousands of calls a day. So that's all of these phone calls that we all receive on a daily basis. Those aren't even humans. Those are AI
A
systems
nerd.
calling us, trying to get us on the phone and getting us to getting warm leads, what they call warm leads for whoever purchased that service. So,
Wow. Wow. So
yep.
that's okay. 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 So
Thank
that's
you for
so the
that, Marcus.
trip.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Well, you're gonna have to be on it.
I'm gonna have to be on this
It,
podcast a lot more and get
yeah.
sponsors.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not
That's
just
right.
that. We going I mean, I'm not just talking you, even when you're going to buy, you got to do it at a different perspective. And if you're trying to save money and you think you're going to go to these corporations and cock out the little man, the corporation is going to charge you more for the services. So you got to sometimes maybe be careful and still work with real estate agents or still work with a broker much closer to get your house done, because a lot of times if the corporations take over, they're going to charge you for AI. They're going to start charging you for that development on a lot of money, because corporations are not into losing money. And this is where people don't understand. They rather take over the system than lose a dime. They don't want to lose any type of money and stuff. So that's good. That's a good update for us, brother. I want to thank you for that. And now I want to get into the governor's race. And right now, the Republicans is going to be talking ahead and thinking they, but the Republicans can't win the state. They'll win this stuff because I didn't realize until I opened my ballot that it was 18 to 20 people running for governor, right? And I was like, why don't they have a system in the Democrat system or any system to narrow it down way before that about two or three of your top people? But when you have all these people claiming they can do something in California, and then that means we're separate. We're all the Democrats are all separate because there's too many of them running. Now, when you look at the top two Democrats, people don't realize that's almost 40%. And the Republicans is 26%. That's what they are tonight. And he's in head far as this runoff, the first beginning. And yeah, so Steve Hilton is in head, but Xavier's second and at 25%. And then you got Tom Sawyer. He's third. Now, we know if you get two Democrats to go for second and third, all them votes is going to combine when they come from the big runoff and things. So California will be still Democratic. The problem is, what I'm worried about is which one of these suckers are really working with Trump? When you think about it, because if you look at if you start researching, Tom Sawyer is a billionaire. He's worked with Trump and built prisons, and he's been working with Trump. Then the other cat, he's working with the oil companies, and who's in charge of the oil companies? Right. Trumpy.
So right. What's the other guy's name that's in charge of the oil?
He's working with oil companies. The Xavier.
Okay.
He's the second. But the point is, whenever these Democrats, whoever gets voted in out of these two, it's a possibility. It's like the mayor fooled us, and he brought Trump in, and they had a meeting, and nobody still know exactly what these meetings is about. You know what I'm saying? In San Francisco, and these are billionaires. People don't realize they all part of organizations. Billionaire organizations and money organizations, they all meet, has nothing to do with the politics, just meeting about the money. How are we going to move rich? And you got to remember, it's only 1,000 billionaires in the United States. And they all know each other. And they all sit at the same table. So you got to kind of be, even the minority ones are on their tables. They're not in our communities. None of our black billionaires are working in our communities to build no businesses, nothing. So the point is, they had between 45 and 50% turnout for a different, which is great. That's off the hook, but it was so many people to vote for. And that's the biggest mistake. And then
by design, probably.
Yeah. Yep. And then in California, they were actually snatching voting boxes and stuff. So they had to toughen up on that stuff. And you never know if that's a plan to do that, because some kind of way Trump is trying to hold on to at least the Senate or the Congress. If he holds on to the Senate, he'll never be prosecuted. Even though they can impeach him from the Congress, the Senate don't have to pull it through. So the thing is, I tell people, whatever happens, if you get to Congress, do not go after Trump until he's out of office. If you try to go after him while he's in office, you're wasting a lot of taxpayers' money to where the Senate just going to sit in the Supreme Court. So wait till he...
Can I ask you a question, Rory? Can the people protest that? I mean, if that happens, can the people just protest it and change it?
Let me tell you what the people don't realize, how much power they got. The people itself, the Americans, I'm not talking green card, none of this stuff, but the actual Native Americans that's here have the right to change the Constitution with a vote, even over the Congress and over the Senate. They got to put the ballots, they got to get enough signed that we want to change the That's why when they didn't realize they didn't have democracy in the Constitution. And that's why it just blew apart on them, because they did not, they had a chance when they had the Senate and the Congress and Obama, the presidency. They They could have rewrote the Constitution and add democracy in it, and Trump would be having a big problem if they would have put democracy in the Constitution instead of
That was
state
Obama's
constitution.
job to do that
Yeah, well,
as a minority.
yeah,
And, he failed
yeah,
us.
yeah. Well, that should have happened. Yeah. Yeah, that should have happened. And the funny part is so political. It's like I heard that Chile said something about Obama and them not doing, and they trying to railroad her out of the music industry because she's made a statement. And I don't know what it is, but it's so political now. When you say something, you can't even speak your opinion. So what are you thinking, Mary? I see you moving around like you got something in your pants, but you got some itching or something, man. You done messed up, man.
Hey, listen, man. Listen, man. I produced the show, okay? So what you guys see on your screen is not what the public sees. Okay,
Yeah,
so when you're doing all this talking that you're doing for 59 minutes, the camera is just on you. It's not on all of us. So
Okay.
since I know that, I can do whatever I want to do. I'm a producer.
Yeah, but when I'm looking at you, I said he's scratching,
He's
man.
scratching,
He must got something. So,
pretty funny.
so what, Anita? What do you see how you see the governor race turn? What do you want from the governor race to turn out for you?
I just want to be treated equal. I mean, my head's not even in the election because you guys all know I feel like it's a big Ponzi scheme in this country anyway. So if I had my way, I just want it to be fair.
Yeah.
I want the laws to be the laws and it should apply to anybody, no matter who they are. I
Right.
just want equality. And if I can't get that, just be who you are. You don't get to change the laws in midstream and bully and the whole nine.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't trust either side.
Yeah.
It just is what it is because what they're showing us when it comes to the politics is that it's not real. They do what they want to do when they want to do it. It's very clear. So I don't have a stake in the game. I'm just living a life. I wish I did. And if we had a group of people who wanted to go out and protest to change stuff, and if I felt like it was a significant amount of people there, I would be out there too, because we should have an independent party, period.
Yeah. Well, with our culture, the most important part when it comes to voting with our culture right now is the women do most of the voting. And our young people used to understand voting in high school. We used to be, I can't wait to vote. Remember, we went to school, we couldn't wait to be 18. You said, man, I can vote, I can get in there and be a part. But now the way they have structured education. That's why I'm angry about education. They've took the things that made us be a part of America. They have taken it away where Black people, especially Black men, we feel like we're not a part of America's system and the way it should be. And so we are having, and then a lot of us are struggling now. We're struggling in our marriages. We're struggling with our kids as fathers. We're struggling as Black men in the country again. We're really struggling on our behavior, the prison system, the childcare system, everything that we're struggling. It's affecting the women, but the men are really and so we can't really talk about voting. We got to talk about healing before we could talk about voting to get an understanding on where we need to come back as a people. Now that is where the voting was a part of us. It's not a part of us no more like it used
Because
to.
we learned that it's
I
a
can agree
hypocrisy.
with that. I can agree with that. If you ask me, what I look for in any candidate that's trying to be the leader of our state is, I would look for California to be a more productive, a more futuristic type of state where we're more technologically sound since we do have Silicon Valley. I would look for a candidate to definitely be well invested in the communities and in the development of community and the job force here in California. We have been eco-friendly for quite some time now, so I don't mind that. But whatever governor that we have or that we land on, I think they do need to be connected as far as industries are concerned, because we do need to maintain the industries that we do have and maybe expand upon whatever industries that we could expand upon. In addition to that, I think since we are the home of technology, maybe we can look at the way we educate our children. So the education system can use a huge reboot, given some of the technological advancements that we have. And then job creation. Job creation is very important. I know we, in some of the bigger metropolitan cities, we have homeless issues. So the way we are approaching that, I would expect the government, the governor, to really divvy out as much cash as we can divvy out for these wars that we're fighting nationally. I would look for our governor to divvy out even more cash from the state, since we are a heavily taxed state, to invest back into the community as far as job creation, as far as acquiring new companies, as far as funding as well. So small business funding, I would look for our governors to help out more with small business fundings, because the future of not only America, but definitely the future of California is really bleak when you look at the lower middle class and the underclass. It's looking
especially
really,
in
really,
the
really, really bleak for them, you know.
especially in the Bay Area. I got a question. So you said something about homeless. So when I got back today from Santa Rosa, I start coming home through Vallejo. And before I got on the freeway, I saw all these sheriffs, and they wasn't the Vallejo police. These were sheriffs,
Because they're
and they
sharing the police department is they're
okay,
coming in
but
and helping the police department in Vallejo now.
okay, so they were
They're right there by right by
they
your
were
house, Anita. I seen them.
yeah.
Mhm.
So what they were
I'm joking,
doing,
Anita. I'm joking.
yeah. So
Yeah,
what they were
I see
doing,
them too all the time.
yeah. Let me finish. What they
I'm
were
sorry.
doing, they were picking up all the homeless off the street. They had buses. They were towing the
Really? Today?
car. They was towing the RVs, the cars. They had the homeless. They was getting them off the street by that store with that burrito truck. They would all the homeless was out there. That bus, all that, and they was taking the cars and the SU, them big RVs. And I was like, what are they taking these people? Right? I mean, I'm trying to figure out, if y'all can pick people up, y'all got the money to tow and pick people up. Where's this money coming from? And the money don't really help people just taking them where they sleep at. You're taking their cars. You, like you said, you saw a man with three children. You're taking their cars. You're taking their RVs, and you're throwing them in a bus. But where are you taking them? And
Right.
it's just a shame, because we don't, some, like when we saw university, it was 400 people coming off the freeway when we come to Berkeley, right?
Yep.
One day they was gone. It fixed up. Where'd it go? And I just be like, that's scary.
Yeah.
That's kind of a trip. When you told
So
me you
don't
saw,
forget that we have a mental health clinic in California. We are
yeah,
the one of the few that have the mental health clinic. So if they're on the streets, they're probably taking them and incarcerating them. You know, they're putting them in jail or putting them in facilities, because it's big money in
yeah,
homelessness from
yeah,
all of these different organizations, right?
yeah,
So that could be where they're
yeah.
going.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna warn my people about something. And I told Marcus, I said, they building all these facilities, and they said they doing it for ICE, and they doing it for the homeless, to put detention centers. Let me tell people this.
Yeah, that's right.
Them facilities is temporary for them. Them facilities for black people. They gonna start jailing. They building jails right under our noses and claiming they're detention centers. And what y'all don't realize, they just threw 1 million Latin people out the other day. 1 million got them out of this country. They didn't go in no intention center. They just say, get out. So what are y'all building? Who are you building for? And our youngsters are out of control. The fighting, the no jobs, just the type of attitudes, the things we're doing. Now, they're going to keep these detention centers. Who going in there next?
Yeah, well, the government has to find a way to excite the rebuilding and the camaraderie within communities. A community focus is the absolute only way to a brighter future for the state and even the country. Right?
Yeah, but let me explain this about black communities. We have never had communities in America, and I want you to understand what I'm about to tell you. We only had neighborhoods. See, if you look at what they've done to black people, they only say we have neighborhoods. We keep saying we got our own communities. The Chinese got communities, stores, all that. They have disrupted us. We just got neighborhoods where black people live. And they poor neighborhoods. They don't have no type of structure, no health clubs, no type of stores in our name. So what I'm saying to you, a community will have health clinics, we'll have stores, we'll have nail polish, we'll have all barbers, we'll have everything in our community. That's what you call a community. We'll have our churches. That's what you call a community. Now, today, we just got neighborhoods. And they don't have any type of substance to help our own people in our own neighborhoods. They don't have any kind of services. They give you very few services. They may give you $800,000 for a grant, and you take the little 800 or 1 million and do a little work in your neighborhood. That's nothing. That's it. You know how much money it takes to really have a viable program every year? At least $15 million or $20 million to have and to work with 100 families. To really do something in your community. They give us a few dollars and say, give a few balls out, do a little Rex. They don't have nothing. And that's why I said we don't have black communities, not in Northern California.
Yeah, no,
we have
hear
neighborhoods.
I definitely hear you. And I definitely was not speaking just for black communities, but just communities overall.
I know you wasn't, but I'm
whatever
just speaking.
nationality or culture it is. I think the governments and the cities are going to have to invest more in them. For example, in San Francisco, San Francisco is trying. They have things like, what do they call it? Vacant to Vibrant. That's a program they have to try to restore the downtown area, right? They're giving smaller entrepreneurs an opportunity to have storefronts that are completely funded by the city in the downtown area,
But can this people get a job or a business downtown? Or are they going to look at your skin color to determine who you are to get a business downtown? See, and that's the problem I have with when people saying they have programs that's about to help. Who? What's written on these things to say, okay, we can help all cultures. We're going to say we're going to give 10% to African Americans, 15% to Spanish Americans, maybe 10% to Chinese American. Where is the breakdown? Because I don't think.
Let me just say this right quick. We have the Boulets. We have 100 black men. We have all these successful black men in this country right now. We are not struggling like they want us to be. We don't need them to give us anything. All we need to do is pool our money together and do what we're supposed to do. And now we know how to sustain ourselves, because when we tried that before, they burned us down. But let them try it right now. This is a new day. So we don't stop asking for handouts. And that's the problem. We keep asking for handouts. We don't need handouts from them. We need to build our own communities and do the things that we want to do. I don't care about their money. Just like they write off all of their taxes in the home, we can do the same thing by owning our own stuff.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
But you know what the funny part? I agree with you, but the way they're doing stuff, they're not giving us land now.
They can't give. We don't need them to give us nothing. Take it. Buy it. There's a group of individuals, I think
I
it was
understand.
175 people in
Yeah.
Atlanta. They
Yeah.
brought all this land together. They pooled their money together,
Yeah.
and they building a whole new community
Yeah.
for their people.
Now
That's the
it's
money
like, who's
right
the
there.
organization in Oakland that bought the Coliseum, the baseball field?
Yeah, one of my friends is part of that. Yep, black
Okay.
owned.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a man. Where does Marcus go?
I'm right
In
here.
Quebec.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So
So yeah, we
that's a
stop
good thing.
asking for handouts. We don't need them no more. We
Right,
good.
right. We got enough educators and enough
Yes.
money by
Let's stop
people.
talking about what they're doing, what they're not doing. They
Yeah.
can kiss our double A. S. I mean,
Okay. Okay, you're right. Okay,
look
so
at that.
now we.
Why are you laughing?
Because Marcus is tweaking right now. And he's going through. He might be doing something that we don't know about. But anyway,
producing the show, bro.
okay. Anyway,
Marcus, you okay over there?
I'm
yeah,
right here
something
producing
going.
the show.
Okay, something going wrong. But anyway, Anita, why don't you give us our report on what we need to be talking about when it comes to health and some of the things that might change? People are going to be losing their Medi-Cal. People are going to be losing
Let's
their
talk about
different things. Some health stuff is coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, this is just really, really bad. As I study how the election can change our healthcare, my goal is just to make you aware, to educate the masses, so you can start making informed decisions, because things are really, really, really getting ready to change. Some areas that could change includes like Medi-Cal. The state and federal elected officials can expand, reduce, or change the eligibility benefits and funding for millions of Californians. What we don't know is really that we have over 14 million people on Medi-Cal, right? And that
Wow.
those numbers grew as a result of the Affordable Health Care Act, right?
Right.
And with the Federal Health Care Act, there was federal funding. But now with this election, it can affect that funding. So guess what they're now going to be doing? They're going to be looking at stricter, stronger regulations for people. We were kind of days ago with it because we have the federal funding. But now they're going to be really looking at your income. They're going to be looking at your bank accounts. They're going to look at people, and they were the amount that you made. They were kind of relaxed with that, but they're going to be looking at that kind of stuff now. So some people may have to get jobs, right? And they have to go to which may affect the employer-sponsored plans too. So because they're going to have to end up paying more because because Medi-Cal is not going to be covering a lot of these people, and a lot of these people could be sick off the street, anything, right? They get a good jobs, so it's going to drive up healthcare costs. So there's a lot of things that's getting ready to change, you guys. Like I mentioned, the Medi-Cal eligibility is becoming stricter. California is implementing a new federal requirements that will affect some Medicare recipients beginning. All this is going to begin in 2027. Certain adults may need to meet work and volunteer and education requirements. They're going to look at, that, which is crazy, right? Because it was all about, can you afford healthcare or not? Income, right? Now they're looking at work and volunteer requirements and education, which is crazy. So the federal funding cuts could reduce. Several analysis estimate that federal Medi-Cal funding reduction can cause hundreds of thousands of millions of Californians to lose coverage over the next few years. So what do we do? So we got to totally try to prepare ourselves for that. The problem is this, that they're saying, we can probably get jobs. Well, where are the jobs? Where jobs are going to be right now? So how are they going to work to get benefits? So.
And plus, if you got to get job for one person, it's like $700, $800 a month now. So
Depending on your age,
yeah,
depending on your age, they're
yeah,
going to be looking at, members that or people that have disabilities. There's been people that's sitting on disability for a long time, and they just go along with it. Well, guess what? You may have to requalify again. They may look at your information and make sure that you still are disabled or not. Some people are disabled, and we were like, and that's that. I mean, I think it's horrible to say that automatically they're going to do that, but that's something that we should have been doing a long time ago. Because remember, as a taxpayer, we pay for this Medi-Cal program. So there's been a lot of people that's just kicking it on Medi-Cal.
Plus, they used to give it to people not citizens. A lot of people got,
that's
and so they
thing.
about to cut all that off.
Yep, all the immigrants are going to have to recertify.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of things that's getting ready to change. And so what this means for brokers is that, like me, is that we're going to have to really dig deep with, partner with the employers just to make sure that
that's big. Yeah,
because their costs are going to rise. So because they're going to have these people, and usually the cost for people that are sick or having issues that don't qualify is going to rise the cost. So they're going to be looking at more programs to help, with cost containment and control costs. So they're going to need brokers more than ever for the insurance. Marcus, that might be
what's going to happen? What's going to happen with what's going to happen with it? What's going to happen?
That might be an industry that you want to get into.
Yeah,
being a broker, because the broker will help with, helping controlling costs, bringing cost containment strategies to the table with the employer groups, Section 125s and HSA programs and all that kind of stuff. So that might be one of the things. So if you want to work with me, I'm willing to teach you.
Yeah, Anita, and that's exactly the type of camaraderie and the type of networking and combining that I'm talking about when I speak of community. We are actually, as community advocates, going to have to get together and figure out solutions for our own, right? And then figure out how to leverage whatever corporate sponsorship or whatever government sponsorship to where we can utilize our expertise to help the community through the government sponsorship. Ultimately, I think where all of this is leading, I'll say to the people out there, we're just prolonging the inevitable. And the inevitable is socialism. If we all are paying taxes, all of this shit should be free. Period. We all have to live together regardless of what you're thinking. I can be in the house on the hill, but if I want my kids to play and have a normal life, we got to come down the hill and interact with the rest of the people. And vice versa. If I'm down the hill and you're up the hill, if you want to live a normal life, we have to meet and we have to interact. We can't seclude ourselves away from the rest of the general population. It just doesn't work that way, and it's never going to work that way. We can't wait
for them to tell us what we can and cannot do. We can't. We're stronger than that now, right? Get our license, do what we need to do. We need to, we can work with our own if we want to. There's a lot of small business, medium-sized, large business. If as long as we're doing our job the way, let me just say something. I've been into healthcare over 45 years, right?
I was 21.
I guess I'm telling my age, but here's what I know. There's nothing I've experienced some prejudice, right? However, I work with a lot of all kind of different people. I've acquired relationship with Chinese, white, Hispanic, the whole nine. It's how you manage your relationship with these people, with the people, or that changes the game. So in my career, I try to be more of a helpful. I provide helpful resources and information. So you'll need me, right? Yeah. So I always get phone calls, and you're the best. I can't, and it's because I overcompensate when it comes to service, right?
Yeah.
So this is gonna be really a challenge for employer groups, for brokers. We gotta put our head in the game and do what we need to do. And we're gonna have so many people that don't have health care, that have no knowledge. So we're gonna have to figure that part out too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
You
I
know,
also
all of
wanted to
this
ask
stuff is
you,
broken
I
down.
wanted to ask her a question before, because I ain't
sorry,
got
go
to
ahead.
sit, yeah. The question I want to ask you so you can talk to them is how you think this is going to affect the veterans this year, if this stuff, because the veterans go through a lot now, and some of them got Medi-Cal and Medicaid, and some of them. So, what do you think the veterans are going to go through with how? Because they said it's going to some kind of way. They said it's really going to affect veterans some kind of way.
Well, veterans that have honorable discharge, or maybe had a disability discharge, they're going to be okay, because they're going to be a part of the veterans, administration.
Okay.
They're going to be able to get health care there, right?
But
Right
I
now,
thought it's trouble. I thought their health care they don't give them it. All I know is they always say veterans have a bunch of trouble or
uh,
something.
yeah, only because all veterans administration hospitals are not 100%. They
Okay.
only veterans. They follow a different rule the whole nine. I mean, I think as long as we can teach the veterans how to advocate for themselves,
Hmm.
they should be okay. And we're talking about veterans who got a that got a dishonorable discharge or something
Yeah.
like that, that
Yeah.
doesn't have access to TRICARE or
Okay.
the Veterans Administration. They are the ones that may be suffering because of the Medi-Cal, right?
Okay.
So the main choices, the medical changes are coming. California medical program covers millions of residents. I told you there was 14 million, right? The
Right.
new eligibility and renewal requirements are expected over the next few years. Some individuals may need to provide additional documentation, meaning the immigrants, like you talked about, right? Or documentation about them being disabled.
Hmm.
People
Hmm.
who lose Medi-Cal coverage may need to seek insurance through employer group or Cover California.
Hmm.
But guess what? The federal funding for Cover California is going to be gone.
Yeah.
So if you're going through Cover California, hey, there may be a little funding there. Medi-Cal, the state helps with that, but who was making the most contribution to Cover California was the feds.
Right.
So
So now that's
and
gone. All that's dwindled.
yeah, it can be gone for 2027.
Yeah. I heard
So
they going to be cutting back on the seniors because the senior hospitals, Laguna Honda is going through a change right now because of the cuts. So I'm just wondering, are they going to be doing things? These seniors got to start opening up and seeing what's going on too, because if they don't, seniors get lost because people don't really, they don't have advocates. And I remember watching you fly to San Diego to make sure a kid got his surgery. So
Mm.
I remember that when you got on the plane and went all the way down there and straightened out that hospital to get that kid surgery. So they don't have advocates a lot of seniors don't have these advocates like that. And it's very dangerous for me to sit back and go like, wow, I'm a senior and I'm trying to take care of I'm trying to get healthy before for some several years down the line. I want to get healthier because the older you get, the healthier you should get. Because if you get real sick, they take you out. And
That is not you're absolutely right, Rory, because here's over the years, I've learned over the years that, the hospitalization is the most expensive cost you can ever have. So what they do is, and they want to do as little as possible. So what they do is they put you in to a skilled nursing facility. And being in a skilled nursing facility, they pay them a little bit extra. The cost is not as much as a hospital, but
right,
their goal is to keep them there and keep them out of the hospital, right?
right,
So the nursing facilities do whatever they can to keep them there, as far as dope them up so they can't talk, And then I mentioned to you in one of the previous segments that we talked about is that they die in hospice or you know, in a situation like that, they get a kickback from the government.
240,000.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
But
So
that's sad. Nothing is genuine, and I'm gonna go on the 30-second rant. Nothing is genuine when it comes to relationships. Okay, you have one group that is preying upon another group in every scenario. You know, even with us, right? We're looking for people that don't know how to use the healthcare system, and then we're going to come in and help them use the healthcare system, but in turn get paid for it. But at the same time, like, when do we actually help each other for real? Right? It's like nothing is genuine. It's
no,
everybody is grouping together, looking
it's all
at
about the
each other,
dollar.
looking at each other to see what value do you bring. Okay, can I partner
Right.
with you to go prey upon a different group of people so that we can get paid? Like that's the entire system, and I don't like it. That's why I'm gonna continue to partake in it, get X amount of money, and then I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gonna live off the
But
grid.
the one thing what you're saying is true. But there are small things that people can do. It's like if you got a senior friends or you got any friends you know that's in a senior complex, you got to go visit them at least once a week to find out if they doing something wrong, find out if they over. When I went to see my brother 3 or 4 days a week, I visit other seniors and they start getting help. See, this is what people don't understand. Hey, could you come in here and sit with me? They don't. Their family don't go visit them. They sit up in these places. And every time I went, I end up being there 3, 4, 5 hours. I'll be 2 or 3 hours with Nate. You know how my brother is. I'll be 2 or 3 hours with him. And I go visit his partners in there. You know, hey man, what's up? I can go sit in the room because sometimes they sit in there with a diaper on them for all damn day. And they ain't went in
Yes,
there to change
that
the
is so
damn
true.
thing. And
That's so true.
so,
That is sad.
yeah.
My aunt was just in a skilled nursing facility because she had a stroke. And she called me up and she said, I don't want to take a shower. She said, I just want a bird bath, basically. She said, because the water in that shower is so cold.
Oh,
And I almost cried hearing her say that because there was nothing I could do about it, right? So they just treat you any kind of way. There's no compassion anymore. So the growing importance of benefits consultants is really real because I think a benefit consultant is going to have to be an advocate too,
I can
right?
see that.
So you're gonna have to look at things like that. You're gonna have to bring value to the employer and the employees because the employer is still going to be looking for a return on their investment because they're paying for their employees. But in order to get a return, we got to make sure that the employees are healthy, right?
Yes.
And that they're making
Yes.
informed decisions. So this is really going to change the game for everybody. So that's what I got. You know, if
yeah.
you have questions
Good
about
segment.
it, you can always email me, email Curve31 and ask me questions. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions.
Yeah. Well, that's good. We got a great segment on that. And this is our last, it's a small segment. I want to add, this is especially for all parents, but especially my culture for one thing. We're not finding out when our kids graduate. And so me and Marcus went up to Santa Rosa today. And we talked to some serious professionals today. How the kids don't know nothing and how the parents, they were shocked to see Marcus putting his work in, getting his son. They broke everything down that his son couldn't even tell him. And because he would say, did you get it? Oh, I got it done. And he go up to what? You got it done? And they go up and they break everything down about scholarships, about extra funds to help you get where your dorm will cost less. They talk about your class, how you
Well,
should come in.
is this a school or an organization to help
No,
you
this
get
is a college. We at Santa Rosa Junior. But what I'm saying is, there's a lot to get in any school. Division 1, Division 2, JC. It's a business. You got to go in there with your kid because there's so much they're not learning how to fill out the forms, how to take care of this, how to, just because they 4.0 students or 3.5, that's not, has nothing to do with what they haven't learned. So once they graduate, if you parents are not a part of their beginning of their life, after high school, it's important that you stay in your kid life another year, helping him develop to be out on their own. I told him my son, I was with him. We go to San Jose. Put, we was really trying to get everything done because I'm gonna tell you, you want to talk about, we talked about what can he bring in the room, from the icebox, from the microwave, from this little detailed things that and then the coach, what he talked to Marcus about the development and the things coming to class, getting there in June instead of August, all the different things that I was like, see, you gotta come up and you gotta make sure because your kid don't really know. He just doing little things and and next thing you know, he wouldn't even been in school. And this is what's happening to a lot of kids. They're not even in school because they didn't do what they prepared themselves and didn't do. And all of a sudden, oh, I'll wait to the next semester. And I tell you, if a kid stop going to school and turn 20, 21 and they might not ever go back to school. Yeah. They got to continue and keep going. And you gotta be a hard nose. You got to say, forget it, I'm going hard on you. Even though you're a grown parent, like the coach say, he grown, but he gonna need you to, I said, we got you, coach. We gonna see you do what you gotta do, but we gonna be up there trying to make sure this young man, because he needs a village. People don't realize we need a village, men and women talking to him, to help him develop, not just a man. No, he needs some women telling him, some men telling him, some family. You got to get an education, more so today than any time in our lifetime as Black kids. You need an education, and people can talk about all that. I want to be an entrepreneur. It takes still education to be an entrepreneur.
That's right. It does.
So regardless, so. You still need to understand structure, money, taxes, philosophies, all kinds of things.
Right.
Economics. If you think you could just, I'm going to open up a t-shirt. It don't work that way. You need to know the cost of the machines, how it works, how you write your tax, how you develop the screens, all this different training. It doesn't matter. And so I wish that I want to do some more research and try to get some parents on that's doing that and try to talk to other parents, get off your butt and check on your kid. You think your kid is registered for college and they ain't even, he'll tell you, they ain't even on the list. Because they ain't done some things, It
was so good to see, because you guys know I just came from my granddaughter's graduation, right? In Vegas. Yeah. And I literally cried tears because she's so focused. And she's, like I said, she's going to the University of San Francisco, and she got a full ride. And she says she's studying politics, right? And I went, and she was pre-law, and I went, ooh. She told that to everybody, and I went, okay. Because even our debates that we have, she just don't understand, because we were debating AI and how it's going to take a lot of jobs, and she's like, I'm against that. Okay, cool. So because of the relationships, some of the relationships I had the opportunity to hook her up with one of my friends who's a consultant for Jasmine Crockett, right? To help her. And she lives in California, to be her mentor, right? Okay. To help her, because she's young, but I'm so
that's beautiful. That's what you have to do. Yeah.
So that's what we have to do as parents, is that, bring other people in to help. That's over my head. I did a little of it, but not like that. You never know what path she may go.
So his son wants to be a sports agent. So I got a few connections to a few big time sports agents.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call them up to see if they can hook Marcus up. Matter of fact, I'm going to get on the line and talk to one of them I know personally and see if I can get Marcus because he'll be over on that side if he can come see you and sit down with you, because he's got some of the best football and basketball players now, So
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
just
that's
going
a
to give
good
him a
point,
call.
man. It definitely takes a village, and I
Yeah.
Because reach one,
appreciate.
teach one.
And
You're
we
right.
made a bit, and we got Marcus a village. And Marcus was
Yeah.
cracking up at what I was doing. I got him a village today.
That's
Three
right.
important men
That's
going
what
to
we
be in
need.
his life at that school, and they were so surprised how we was like, we need you. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
We need. And they was like, man, I got you. Just tell him they gonna take care of him, because he's
Yep.
the
But
dad
that
showed
too,
up.
Rory, is what we need for not just
That's
Kenya
what I
County,
was saying. It's not just
the
him.
whole community. That's what we
That's
need to
right.
Yeah,
do. We need to do
yeah.
our own, not eliminate the whites or the Chinese, but
Yeah,
stop
but
relying on them to take care of us. We
take
can
care
Mm-hmm.
of
take
him.
care of ourselves.
Yeah, take care of him. And so it's good because we got so many black women and black men, even like you said, the 100, they doing some beautiful things too. They giving away scholarships and Harry helping a lot of black kids. So they going to, one of my girlfriend is trying to help them. She gave me an insight on helping Marcus try to, maybe he can achieve a scholarship through that program. So the point is there's people out there. You just got to ask. You just got to open your mouth. There's many people who's willing to work. We are just so caught up with our ego, but with the negativity. But there's really a lot of positive black people that's educated, like you, Anita, Marcus, me, that want to work with young people so what we have to do is heal some of these parents to open their doors.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I
and
don't mean
open
I
their
don't mean to cut
minds.
you off. I don't mean to
Yeah,
cut you off, but we are at the end of the show. But I
yeah,
just want to give you a lot of credit for what you're saying, man, and a lot of
Yeah.
credit, man. But what happened in this moment is what happens to a lot of parents. Okay, and I'll close out by saying this: for a lot of parents that come from the community, a lot of us don't have that experience when it comes to academia, especially when we go past high school, past junior college, to the university level, master's, doctorate level. That's where that experience tapers off. So I haven't had the opportunity to have a kid go and be with them hand in hand through this process going through college. I didn't graduate from college. Okay,
right,
so I didn't play sports in college. So when it comes to that world, I had zero experience. However, you, on the other hand, this is where the village comes in. Your son was a McDonald All American. You went through. You actually have a degree. You graduated from school. You played collegiate sports. So
right,
this area was not foreign to you.
yeah,
Whereas for me, it was totally foreign, and I literally felt like a fish out of water, and to where I don't know the next step. I've done everything that I think I could have done,
right,
and but having you were telling me no. There's more that you can do. There's more that you have to do, and you grabbed my hand and literally took me up there to make sure that I did the extra, the 9, 10, 11, 12th step. So
right.
that is what again, it comes back to community.
Listen.
It comes
Yep.
back to
Yep.
community.
Yep.
So
And there's organizations too. Marcus, thank God that Roy's there for you.
yeah.
But there's organizations, because I remember when my youngest daughter was going to college, it was an organization called Yes We Can or Yes We Can. There's these different organizations in different cities, for those of you who don't know, that actually work with kids in the underserved communities or just in areas that don't, for first year college, students and that kind of stuff. So, or first generation college students, I say. So, and even more. So, yeah, there's a lot of information out there that I think it's important thank you, Rory, for saying that.
Yeah.
And thank you, Marcus, for acknowledging that. But now that you guys said it, I think it's important that we get a list together so that we can share it with our audience about
Yeah.
these different organizations, because
Yeah.
they are out there.
And the funny part, the colleges offered it themselves. They got programs right up there, will give you the information. You just got to ask.
Yeah.
The colleges are waiting on you to say, hey, let's get it this, let's get that. But our parents don't. Our parents are not
So the
educated.
organizations will give them a list of colleges. They'll show
Yeah.
them how to
Yeah.
apply and all the
Yeah.
information there. They have these organizations.
Yeah.
So I'm going to look at the ones that I used years ago, and then
Yeah.
I'm going to do a research. I'll send it over to you, Marcus, and
Well, I want to also do a research on how can how can we reach the parents at home? Because a lot of times it's just graduate, they gone. There's nothing the parents can see that they could grab on. Oh, my kid can go to college. They don't even know. The kid graduate, and if you don't go to school, get a job, you better do something. That's all they do because they're not aware as a parent. And so as a parent, we need to figure out they got maybe some nonprofit agencies that help parents that we can have a list that you can go to this in San Francisco, you can go to this program in Oakland. So I'm gonna start doing some research and find out if it's the programs in Richmond, Oakland, the Bay Area for helping
I think
kids.
we found out about it from the school. They were working with the school.
Different
However,
they don't have the counselors no more.
Yeah, counselors not in schools anymore.
No, they don't have. They really don't have them like we had several counselors and we had nurses. They don't even have that in colleges now. In high school, very few.
High school. Did your son didn't have counselors?
They have
school.
They have counselors. Yeah. They definitely have counselors, but it goes back to the point. Sometimes the parents don't really understand the type of questions to ask, and they don't understand what direction they actually should push their children in. So those programs that you're mentioning are phenomenal. I actually went to Upward Bound my senior year in high school, and I wish I was a part of the Upward Bound the entire time.
Right.
Because had I been a part, I definitely would have probably graduated from college. But even getting in that program in the senior year, they still had me queued up to go to Sacramento State, San Francisco State, and every black college. So, yep. So do you want to give us some closing words, Anita?
Okay. I this was a really good show. I'm really excited about it. Based on what I was talking about, election doesn't just determine who holds office. They influence healthcare policy and costs and access to care and the benefits available to millions of Californians, whether you're an employee, whether you're a retiree, or whether you're a healthcare consumer, right? So it's important to stay informed when it comes to making decisions and understanding your benefits, right? So, I'm out here. I am a healthcare advocate. I can help you do that. We all come together to give the information to you so that to let you know that we're here for you. So thank you very much for joining our show. And we look to see you soon.
We be back on Thursday. We'll have this black culture because the first thing we say, let's join without helping our own self first to get our stuff right. Okay, now I'm changing the subject. Okay, so the subject has changed. Just go out there, shake your ass, and show yourself and scream and holler. But that's what Marcus said.
I said, shake your ass.
He said, go out there and get it.